So, Nancy Pelosi. Yeah. Nancy Pelosi and her designer ice cream. She was on Wolf Blitzer on his show on CNN and talking about the new stimulus package that they want to get passed, right? It's October. It's October. They've gone on recess twice. And now, maybe another check, maybe. So anyway, I want to show you what kind of demeanor she had on his show.
And to people who say, well, I don't trust Trump on that. If we trust the Food and Drug Administration for what they are doing, the scientists there who've been working 24/7 for months and months and months, excellent science. The science should call the shot. And when they do, we should all trust it.
And let's hope they get more treatments. Let's hope they get a vaccine. And Madam Speaker,
Yes.
I certainly respect you, but I also respect Ro Khanna. I respect Andrew Yang. I respect members of the Democrats who are members of the problem solvers. They want a deal because so many people right now
Well,
are
the problem
suffering.
solvers, by the way, don't have any earned income tax credit or child tax credit in their proposal either. But let's not go into that.
Yeah,
You
we've
evidently
gone through
do
that.
not respect the chairmen of the committees who wrote these bills.
I respect
and
all
I
of
wish
you.
you would respect the knowledge that goes into getting meeting the needs of the American people. But again, you've been on a jag defending the administration all this time with no knowledge of the difference between our two bills. And I thank you for giving me the opportunity to say that to you in person.
All right, Madam Speaker,
virtually.
these are incredibly difficult times right now, and we'll leave it on that note. Thank you so much for joining
we'll
us.
leave it on the vote that you are not right on this, Wolf, and I hate to say that to
All
you.
right.
But I feel confident about it, and I feel confident about my colleagues, and I feel confidence in my chairs.
And it's not about me. It's about millions of Americans who can't put food on the table, who can't pay the rent,
And
who are
we
having
represent
trouble,
them.
who
And we
are
represent them.
getting
And
by
we represent
these
them.
long food
And we
lines that we're
represent
seeing.
them.
I know
we
you
know
are.
them.
I'm just
we
saying.
We represent them, and we know them.
As we
We
say,
know them. We represent them.
don't let the
Yes.
perfect be the enemy of the good, as they say
It is
here in
nowhere
Washington.
near perfect.
Madam Speaker.
Always the case, but we're not even close to the good.
All right, let's see what happens, because every day is critically, critically important.
That was something else. Like, did you see the arrogance that she has? We represent them, okay? I start yelling into the mic. We represent them. We feed them. Oh shit. Oh, okay. Really? Is that the one-time check you're talking about? The 1,200, or does she mean the $2.5 million that were magically given to Israel? Friends of the Israeli Defense Forces. Yeah. Small business money, PPP money, that was meant for American small businesses somehow found its way with the Friends of the Israeli Defense Forces. I mean, that makes sense if you consider Israel as another state of the United States. Yeah. Then it's perfectly logical. We feed them, as she said, right? We feed them. We represent them. I mean, look, what's actually really hilarious is how people are absolutely fawning over Wolf Blitzer. Like, look, this random act of journalism wildly appeared on television. Isn't that weird how people somehow clap when journalists actually do their jobs? Mehdi Hassan, for example, on his new NBC show, he made it. He was giving John Bolton a grilling about the Iraq War, which would be great if this was 2003. Unfortunately, it's 2020, and 1 million Iraqis are already dead. So, in the future, I'm just saying this as some constructive criticism, I'd like to see journalists actually grill national security advisors and people who start wars before the war starts, before anyone is killed. Then we can actually talk about real harm reduction and real journalism, right? Again, I don't want to give him too much crap. It's better than most. But, Mehdi Hassan also says things like Iran wasted money by fighting ISIS in Syria. So I'm not sure where he stands. We're never sure. It's an enigma. Mehdi Enigma Hassan. Do you understand? It's quite harrowing. It's quite disappointing when we have to clap for journalists who do their jobs. We shouldn't have to. This should be the norm. Do you understand? It should be the norm. This should be the ordinary. Not something that deviates from what we usually witness. Should always be like this. Always. Okay? let's get that out of the way. Now, this stimulus deal, this package, it's highway robbery as usual, right? Because it's not going through Congress. It's not even being proposed unless it contains a corporate giveaway and a corporate handout. It's always highway robbery. So it's worth 1.8 trillion. Now, interestingly enough, Mitch McConnell, he comes out and says that it's not getting through regardless. Even if Pelosi and Trump hash out a deal, he's not bringing it to the table in the Senate, okay? That's what McConnell said. It's not happening. So I think once again that shows you what a farce this all is, because we're 7 months after the fact. They gave you one check, a single check, $1,200. It didn't even get to people on time. And now they're pretending that they're arguing over crumbs that they're going to give you. They're not going to give you shit. I told you this months ago. They passed 5 goddamn bills. Only one of them had a check. 5, man. And we covered all of them. So, as I pointed out over here, Pelosi, she argues with Trump about COVID relief. She never argues about the military or the Department of Homeland Security or ICE budgets. Never. You will never see Nancy Pelosi arguing with Trump or a sitting president, because she was also under Bush. You will never see her arguing with them about those budgets. Never. Never. She wasn't arguing with him about the 5 other packages. Not a word. When all that small business money went to lobbyists and dark money groups and Israel. Socialism for the rich, rugged individualism for the poor. Every time. Every single time. You had lobbyists whose sole purpose is to corrupt Washington, D.C., to peddle and manipulate influence. And they're making millions of dollars a year. Millions! And they're getting paid. They're getting small business money. How in the fuck? And of course, she kept out union reps. She made sure of that. So dark money groups and lobbyists got small business money for some reason, but not union reps. Really screwing the working class as much as she can. So look, I posted these links again all the way from back in May when we reported on this. For the next COVID bill, Pelosi wants to classify lobbyists and dark money groups under small businesses. Yes, you're going to be paying the salaries of the people who corrupt DC. And of course, she left out labor union reps. Of course. And here we have the friends of the IDF who are getting your money. I mean, you can't make this up, man. You really can't. So, of course, Israel gets $3.8 billion every year. That's part of the 10-year package that Obama and Biden gave them, which is not the first package, but it was definitely the biggest to date, right? So I think under Bush, they were getting $30 billion over 10 years. And then this one, which Obama and Biden signed, which is still in effect. Trump won't repeal that, huh? That's you don't repeal that. That's not a piece of legislation. Well, it's not a piece of legislation. It doesn't go through Congress. But that's not something you repeal. That one is still in effect. That one from 30 billion to 38 billion over 10 years. Lovely, right? Financing genocide. But it's not enough. They also get PPP money, which is meant for American workers and businesses. So that's what Nancy Pelosi does. That's who she is. When she says we feed them, we represent them, she means lobbyists, she means dark money groups, she means the murderous, genocidal state of Israel. That's who she means. But the workers, they get crumbs. They get one check, and then you can wait for 7 months. People are going to fucking die by the time they get another check. It's not coming. It's not coming, man. These are corporate giveaways and handouts. Highway robbery in every sense of the term. Highway robbery. Largest transfer of wealth in history. They just keep going, and they keep going, and they keep going. 5, 6, 7 bills. Who the hell knows? You know, it's like that meme with Oprah. You get a corporate handout, you get a corporate handout, and screw the workers. They don't get nothing. Even though it's their own money. It's their money. They created the wealth. They're the taxpayers. It's their money. No, they don't get it. Wow. Did you see how she got so mad at Trump? Sorry, at Blitzer, which was indicative or reminiscent of this Trumpian strain which is within them. It's very funny, huh? It's just like Joe Biden. We were watching Joe Biden earlier, yelling at the reporter because he brought up his son's corruption. Same thing here. Wolf Blitzer was like, yo, you know people are dying, right? There's bread lines and people are struggling and every day matters. You need to hurry up with that and stop arguing with Trump and just give people the relief that they need. She lost it. It's like, you don't respect us enough. You need to show some respect to the heads of the committees. You need to show respect to the committee chairs. Okay? You don't respect us. We represent them. Like, basically telling him, don't talk to me in that way. That's what that was. Don't talk to me in that manner. Don't actually hold me accountable. Just like Joe Biden. Don't bring up my corruption. Focus on him. Stop. Don't talk about me. You don't talk to me like that. All of them do this, right? Unbelievable. You saw Biden yelling at the reporter in the campaign trail. We just watched the video. It's not a conflict of interest. It's not a conflict of interest. And he does it all the time. And you saw that also with the veteran. When the veteran came up to him and said, hey, you sent us to Iraq, to Afghanistan to kill people. You sent us to kill civilians. And he starts wagging his finger in his face and then walks away. And then same thing with the factory worker, with the, I can't remember what industry that was, auto industry for sure, because it was in the Rust Belt. This was back in the campaign trail, right? And back in February. So yeah, with the auto mill worker. So he tells him, he starts wagging his finger in his face and threatening him. You remember that? Every time. These people have such an ego. They think that they're above the law. They have completely abdicated any sense of responsibility towards their own constituents. It's long gone. Serving the public? Representing constituents? What's that? They don't know this foreign concept. It's long gone. They've been in government too long. Forget about it. So you saw how Pelosi was talking to Blitzer. That's what that was. That's what came out. That's the sewage shit that came out. That's the real Pelosi. They're all the same. Republican, Democrat, doesn't matter. They're all the same brand of scum. All of them. Through and through. So it's very unfortunate that they are pretending to quibble and argue over crumbs, right? Oh, is it going to be 400 or 600? These are crumbs. Motherfucker, if it was 2,000, it's not even enough. Okay? They're pretending to argue over crumbs because they don't want to give you anything. And if something passes, the vast majority, the lion's share, always goes to the corporations, always goes to the people who corrupt Washington, D.C., who own Washington, D.C. Always. Every single bill without fault. They will even sponsor genocide of Palestinians before they give you a fucking crumb. Do you understand that? Get that through your head. That's who Pelosi is. That's who Trump is. That's who all of these scumbags are in Washington, D.C. They are mass murdering, corrupt pieces of shit.